There's one thing I need to make very, very clear here, okay? When it comes to inoculations and vaccinations and stuff, there is always going to be and always has been a rate of failure. Some people have an immunity system that just does not respond normally to these things, and so some or all of these vaccinations won't work for them. Some people, they have an immune system that works really, really well, and so it reacts just as expected, but maybe that immune system is able to um, misbehave, autoimmune disorder. And so therefore the vaccine doesn't work, or it works, but not for as long as expected. But for most people, vaccines do exactly what they're supposed to do. They make you a little tiny bit sick, maybe just your arm or your butt hurts a little bit. Maybe you get a little bit of a fever, but that's about it. And if you get a symptom, that's a good thing. You may think, well, oh no, I have a fever. I can't go to work today. You should be grateful because that means your body reacted appropriately. No response at all, not even a sore arm, is worrisome because it suggests that maybe your immune system didn't notice that there was something foreign in your body it needed to get rid of. And the other thing I wanted to say about this is when you look at vaccines, every vaccine has a success rate. Some vaccines, like for typhoid, are not so high. I don't remember, I think it's like 70%. Other vaccines are in the 90 percentile, or higher than 90%. There are vaccines that are close to 100%. And if you look at history, vaccines have saved billions of lives. The number of people who have been hurt by vaccines because of an allergy or because of some other kind of an intolerance or because there was a bad batch or something, or maybe because of it somehow managed to cause a cascading chain of events that led to a heart attack, like during COVID-19 when certain people had heart attacks. That does happen, but it's very minor. And you can use VARs to report your experience. But the problem with VARs is it's being reported by the public. And if you ever sit down and read reviews, you can see how people make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I've put in reviews for a product and I didn't realize I was on the wrong screen. Or I didn't realize I was on the screen for the maker instead of the product, or that there wasn't a screen for the product, only for the maker, and it was a waste because it was just like a one-off that they were selling, and they didn't normally sell that thing. There's a lot of reasons, okay? There's a lot of reasons why reviews are not reliable, and so you can think of VARs as a more of a review database where people are submitting their suspicions without proof of what happened when they had that vaccination. The fact that there aren't a lot of positive stories in VARs is because VARs is specifically there for reporting negative reactions. You can go to VARs and you can report nothing happened, it was great. But if you are to use the data of VARs and you say, well, look how many people reported negative results and how few reported positive results, you are misleading people. All right. And let's not forget that when it comes to vaccines, if they're really so dangerous, why is it that the government does mass injections of soldiers before they go overseas? How many of those people have actually died? Very few. If you actually look at the statistics, instead of believing quacks like RFK and con artists like Andrew Wakefield, you would discover that you have been lied to. They are manipulating you, and in my opinion, they're doing that because they want your children and your grandchildren to die. You had the vaccine, I had the vaccines, but they are trying to convince you to not do that because they want fewer people, and they don't mind if people die because they've lied to you. Who are they? You figure that one out. It's not me, that's for sure. Hi, everyone. If I haven't said it before, I'll make it plain now. The following is documented facts as well as my own opinions. Where I describe an individual and their actions, it is based on allegations made by others, some of which have been successfully prosecuted in court. If you disagree with me and want to respond, you'd better bring facts to the table because I'm tired of people responding with nonsense and veiled insults. I'm at the point where some people are on the border of being unfriended. Be civil, be smart, be informed, and share true knowledge, or STFU. Selecting a heroin addict who knows less about medicine, diet, and nutrition than I do, and less than most doctors, and spouts the debunked Andrew Wakefield's false claims about autism being caused by the MMR vaccine is a criminal endeavor. Not to mention that RFK has been denounced by his entire family. He's a flake and a quack and should not be allowed anywhere near medical decisions. Thanks for returning us to the Stone Age, Trump. While Wakefield, who used to be a doctor but had his UK doctor's license permanently revoked for his crimes against the world, made these claims, he and his partner in crime, another con artist, had filed patents for their own measles vaccine. You get the connection? In other words, he wanted people to not trust MMR vaccine because he wanted to sell them the measles vaccine. Yeah, it was all about the money. He made grandiose speeches all over the place and got a falsified research paper published in the Lancet. Their whole disparagement of the MMR vaccine was so that they could carve a market out of the gullible and the stupid by getting them to steer clear of MMR and order the measles vaccine and presumably the other two vaccines, mumps and rubella, eventually, from Wakefield and partner. If you've never had mumps or rubella, find someone who lived during the time before vaccines for them and ask what they remember. Not so much fun from what I remember hearing. I also remember getting vaccines en masse. I mean, we would line up and we would get our vaccines at these public events. And it was a big deal. And guess what? People didn't drop like flies. In fact, lots of people survived and never had the diseases they were being protected against. Does it work 100% of the time? Nothing works 100% of the time. Get it out of there. Take that nonsense out of your head and say, oh, well, if it doesn't always work, it's not good. Does your car always work? There you go. God. Vaccines have saved billions of lives, and the number of people who have died or suffered is not truly expressible with a percentage because it's so small. Now, I don't know what that number is, but if you compare the huge number of people who have suffered a little bit or not at all because they got a vaccine that saved them from the effects of it, or almost all of the effects of a disease, and then you compare that to the little itty bitty number of people whom I feel sorry for because something bad happened to them, and they died or they suffered because of something in the vaccine that they were possibly allergic to or sensitive to otherwise, I'll take the billions of lives saved and mourn the ones who die, because there's just no comparison between billions and maybe, I don't know, 1 million. 100,000, I don't know, but the numbers are so different that anybody who does not believe in vaccines is fooling themselves, or has been fooled by somebody else more likely. The Lancet, after a very long period of time, finally acknowledged that they'd fucked up when they put his paper up after careless review and removed it. Egos are big everywhere, not just in the Oval Office. Wakefield, understanding that the USA is the capital country of fraud, moved here and apparently continued to tell his lies to a growing audience of gullible sheeple and con artists wanting a piece of his con pie. Someone should put him in prison because, thanks to him and RFK's idiocy, we now have measles outbreaks that are killing kids in multiple states. Maybe that was RFK's plan all along. Maybe he's in cahoots with Gates and is helping in the plan to decrease the population. RFK has nothing to worry about since he's rich, powerful, stupid, crazy, and already safe from measles since his parents had him vaccinated long ago. And what happened when he lost the Democratic election? He switched sides to Trump. Why? You figure that one out. Duh. It isn't about health. But your kids are the target. And you are helping them to murder your kids by refusing proven scientific methods that massively reduce all of the risks associated with the various diseases we vaccinate against. Keep in mind that all the technology you enjoy comes from science, not God. Go ahead then. Maybe we'll get the gullible gene out of our gene pool, or at least the stupid gene. Look, I'm just joking. It's not possible. I'm just frustrated with the fact that American education is so poor, so bereft of the teachings of analysis, research, logic, and critical thinking that tens of millions of people swallow the lies spewed at them by lobbyists, by shills, by politicians, by con artists. It's like, it's smorgasbord for all the criminals. They can tell you whatever they want, and as long as they use the right words and trigger your emotions, you're like, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the doctors are stupid. The scientists are stupid. You're right. No, you are brainwashed or stupid. I don't know. In short, RFK is an idiot or a co-conspirator in an effort to murder kids. Andrew Wakefield is a heartless con artist, and I'm the big mouth trying to protect you from your naivety. Putting a lawyer politician in charge of medicine, science, or anything that requires real knowledge outside of the law is asking for trouble. This is a big part of why Americans have so many health problems. Corporations and the elites control the government and tell them what they want us to believe is true. Don't trust me. I just know more than RFK about diet and health, and he knows more about law and politics. If you want to deny the truth that vaccines save way more lives than are lost, expect your bloodline to disappear from Earth. You've been fooled. Canada, take me into your arms. I can't stand the cesspool of hatred that this country has been turned into by politicians. Canada, I ask for asylum. Please take me into your arms. I'm smart. I work hard. I care about people, and I love to learn new things. Look, folks, I'm trying to help you. You may not believe it. You may think I'm wrong, but I actually researched this stuff. If you really want to understand what's going wrong with food in this country, watch Viva Longevity's episode. We analyzed 114 country food guides. One diet ruled them all. And yes, it does have something to do with RFK. If you want to understand why RFK is wrong about vaccines, there is a ton of data that proves him wrong in a very, very comprehensive way. He has no clue what he's talking about when it comes to health. He's a conspiracy nut. Crazy as hell. I'm so done with this. This is so stressful. I keep on trying to help, and people just don't want to listen. It breaks my heart, and it makes me angry. I hate to say it, but I wish that shooter had actually killed Trump. Not a nice thing to say, but it's how I feel. He's ruining this country. He's turning America into another Nazi nation. And you'll find out soon enough. 1, maybe 2 years, it'll be gone. Everything that we have enjoyed, everything that you have taken it for advantage of and just not respected and not understood will be gone. Enjoy it while you can. Have your last hurrah. Bye.
I need to ask for your help. Things have been challenging. Whose life hasn't been challenging lately? So if you can please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications, that would be really, really super. Also, if you'd like to help me financially and you can't afford to, you can do a super thanks on my Glenn's Fast Reviews channel, or you can become a member there. Or if you prefer, you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII and become a member there instead.